Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
All right, now you see our location, so you know where we are. Now you'll see the matchup, so you know what we're doing. It is time for baseball, as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the first game of a 4-game set from Rogers Center here in Toronto. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees take 2 out of 3 in St. Pete against the Rays, but was that enough? Let's take a look at how it affects the standings. And the wild card standings are presented by Mazda Driving Matters. The Blue Jays have the first wild card. The Tigers swept a doubleheader last night. They now have the second wild card. Then the Orioles, Astros, Mariners, and the Yankees are 3 games back with many teams to jump over. Let's look at this logically. The Yankees have 10 games remaining, including tonight. When he was informed of that last night after the Yankee loss, Brett Gardner said, well, the Yankees have to win 11 of 10 games. Hard to do, but what do the Yankees have to do?
Yeah, it shows you the hard road the Yankees are in now. I think what the Yankees have to do is focus on the game tonight. That's the only one that counts on this particular day, the only one they can win. Think about tomorrow, and the rest of the games in the future. But tonight, winning streaks are comprised of 1-game winning streaks. So you start tonight with a victory and move on from there. That
being said, let's take a look at the pitching matchup for tonight's game, and it's brought to you by People's United Bank NA. See what know-how can do for you. Francisco Liriano is going to get the start for the Blue Jays, and for the Yankees, it's the youngster Brian Mitchell. This is a powerhouse Blue Jay lineup. A couple of people he really has to be worried about.
Well, Josh Donaldson, as we all know, is the reigning MVP of the American League, and a lot of people feel he's having a better year this year than he had last year when he won the award. And Edwin Encarnacion, he's been tough on everybody. 42 home runs, leads the American League at 100 with 123 runs batted in. Those are just 2 of the tough hitters in this Blue Jay lineup.
Well, this Blue Jay lineup is explosive. They run the big guns out there. They will put runs on the board. So it's the big guns of the Blue Jays against the baby bombers of the Yankees. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next, right here on Yes. the dome is closed. The Blue Jays have taken the field. They have not had a good September, but they are holding on to a wild card. Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup that will face Francisco Liriano. And the Yankees starting lineup is presented by Lexus. The left fielder is Brett Gardner. He'll lead off. Batting second and playing center field, Jacoby Ellsbury. Gary Sanchez, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up first baseman, Billy Butler. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, bats fifth. Batting sixth, playing third base, Chase Headley. Aaron Hicks in right field will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Austin Romine. And Ronald Torreyes is at second base, and he is going to bat ninth.
There's a look at tonight's starting pitcher in the opening game of the series against the Yankees, Francisco Liriano, the 32-year-old left-hander. 2-4 in his career against the New York Yankees. There's a look at his season numbers with Pittsburgh and now with the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Originally, the San Francisco Giants signed him as an outfielder, but quickly sent him to the mound. He didn't like it at first, but of course he's gone on to have a pretty good career. A lack of run support since coming to the Blue Jays. He's made 6 starts, and only one of the starts have they given him as many as 4 runs to work with. And one thing you got to do, you got to wait him out. He will walk people. Only one pitcher in the major leagues has walked more batters than Liriano this year. That's Brandon Finnegan of the Cincinnati Reds. Liriano's walked 82. Finnegan coming into tonight had walked 84.
All right, so this is the beginning of a big 4-game set for both teams. The Blue Jays trying to hold off the Orioles, and now the Tigers have moved into the second wild card, and Houston's still in play. Yankees are still in play. So a lot of teams that are looking to get one of those 2 wild cards, so the Blue Jays have to win, and they have not had a good month of September at all. And they'll try to change that. They're 6-12 in September, and they've got to improve their play, obviously. And this starts a 7-game homestand for them, 4 games against the Yankees, and then 3 games against Baltimore. Baltimore just got swept in a 4-game set by the Boston Red Sox. So the Red Sox swept the Yankees and the O's. They've won 8 in a row.
Wow.
So Brett Gardner is ready. Francisco Liriano is ready. And let's do it here in Toronto. First pitch is outside, and we are underway. Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire. Dan Bellino at first. Phil Cuzzi at second. Todd Titchener is over at third. Hallion is the crew chief.
You'll see a lot of sliders from Liriano. That's probably his best pitch. He's got a low 90s fastball. Doesn't quite throw as hard as he used to. He's had Tommy John surgery in the past.
1-1. 2-1.
Remember his days with the Minnesota Twins. He was supposed to be the next Johan Santana. Of course, Santana was a big-time left-hander with Minnesota and eventually with the Mets.
Chop to second. Devin Travis is there. 1 away. Well, why don't we take a look at the Blue Jays defense presented by Geico. Their defense has not been good this month. They've made 19 errors. They've allowed 12 unearned runs to score. Worst in the American League, tied with the Minnesota Twins. Carrera in left, Pilar in center, Saunders over in right. Infield, Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Travis, and Encarnacion. That's third to first. Former Yankee Russell Martin behind the plate. Kenny told you about Francisco Liriano on the mound.
Yeah, when you mentioned your numbers coincide with Minnesota Twins, we all know how poorly the Twins have played all year. You just don't want to be in the same company as them.
Here's Ellsbury. Ellsbury has not had a good road trip through Boston and St. Pete. Just 3 hits in 23 at-bats. There's a strike. You can see Tom Hallion takes his time calling strikes.
Except for the 3rd strike call.
There's strike 2.
If he calls somebody out on strikes, you'll know it right away.
Donaldson way off the line at third for the lefty swinging Jacoby Ellsbury. Everybody else fairly straight away. The center fielder shades toward left center. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ellsbury down on strikes, 2 away. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. We told you that the roof is closed. It's 61 degrees outside, 77% humidity. The wind is 9 miles per hour. It's mostly cloudy and cool. When I got here earlier in the afternoon, it was raining. And here's Gary Sanchez. Gary had a 6-game hitting streak snapped last night, 0 for 2 with 2 walks in the 2-0 loss to Tampa Bay.
It just seemed last night I was watching that game and the Yankees couldn't get it together against young Mr. Blake Snell.
Or Chase Whitley. And Luis Cessa pitched fairly well. He gave up just 2 runs in 6 innings. And Severino pitched very well in his 2 innings of work. 2-1.
Show you how powerful that Sanchez has been. We know he's set records, most home runs in the fewest games since coming to the big leagues. Changeup.
Well, this alert is brought to you by Bank of America. Last 7 games, he's 11 for 28 with 5 homers and 13 ribbies. Good for .393 average. And the 2-2. Got a piece to stay alive.
Well, the first 106 games of the year, the Yankees had a total of 26 multi-home run games. Now, since Sanchez has joined the team, the Yankees have played 46 games. He's appeared in 44. They've had 19 multi-homer games.
Line to left field, deep. It's going to be over the head of Carrera, and it bounces up against the wall. He'll play the carom. No, it goes over the wall, and so Sanchez gets himself a bullet double.
Looked like Carrera might have had a shot at it, but this one had too much giddy up on it. Let's see what the pitch is first of all. He wants it down and in. No, it's right down the middle. And he's lucky Carrera even had a chance. It looked like he might have got a glove on it. The ball still got out of the ballpark. It climbed up the wall and went over. So another extra base hit for Gary Sanchez.
Here's Billy Butler. Count 1-0. That's Sanchez's 12th double of the year to go along with his 19 home runs. Butler has a 6-game hitting streak, all 6 games with the Yankees. He's 8 for 18. Also a .301 lifetime hitter against lefties.
Going back to his days in Kansas City, I heard you mention last night his nickname was Billy Doubles.
Billy Doubles.
Yeah.
Sanchez leads off second. And the
Blue Jay pitchers on this last road trip, they were outstanding. They just didn't hit all that much. The Blue Jays, of course, hit well in their home ballpark, but their pitchers pitched to a 1.71 earned run average on the road trip. And they only went 4-3 on the trip.
3-1. And Butler walks. So that puts runners on first and second. And that'll bring up Didi Gregorius. Well, we're talking about the cold September so far for the Blue Jays, and these are cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. We told you they are 6-12 so far this month, and that doesn't help in a pennant race. Actually 7-12 now, 3.6 runs per game, .233 batting average, 18 home runs, and 4.44 ERA.
Yeah, but they do hold that first wild card spot, so they have their destiny in their hands. Liriano might have looked at Butler and then said, well, Gregorius is up next, a left-handed hitter. Maybe decide to go after him, which hasn't been such a good idea all year long. Didi has hit left-handers very well. Particularly any hanging breaking ball on the inner third of the plate. Those are the ones he's been mashing all year long.
Popped up on the left side. Martin and Donaldson on the run. And Martin can't get there. Tried the sliding catch, couldn't make it.
Now this isn't Oakland, but there's quite a bit of foul territory, at least around the dugouts here at the Rogers Center. So a long run for Russell Martin, and the fans are applauding his effort. I don't even think he got a glove on it, maybe a shin guard. Take another look. He recognizes, and the race is on. Comes up a little short. Martin's been swinging a good bat lately, and he's always been a good defensive catcher.
Didi thought the catch was going to be made. He was walking back to the dugout, get his glove. Check swing. 3-1 on Gregorius.
Anytime you see a catcher take pause before he throws the ball back to the pitcher, that means he really felt it was a strike. And when you see the pitcher staring in, it's the same thing. Martin tried to get the call. I believe it was a little outside. He tried to maneuver the glove.
That's ball 4. That's going to load the bases for Chase Headley. All with 2 outs. A double by Sanchez, and then walks to Butler and Gregorius.
Yeah, we told you Liriano can walk a few, get himself in trouble. If nothing else, he's elevated his pitch count this inning.
Pitching coach Pete Walker watching closely. These games you don't stay with starters that long, because each game is so important. Get the bullpen up early, but nobody moving out there just yet. Here's Headley. And the pitch. There's a strike. Headley back in the lineup yesterday was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Didn't look that sharp after missing a couple of games with the sore lower back. 4 grand slams, but this year with the bases loaded, 1 for 12, and that one was a grand slam. Bases loaded right here. The 0-2. 1-2.
Liriano first came over to the Jays. There were a few times through the rotation. They went with a 6-man rotation, trying to limit the innings of Aaron Sanchez, their young right-hander.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes. And the Yankees leave the bases loaded. No run to hit. And the bases are left loaded. Yankees nothing. Jays coming to bat. A Village on base last night. Leave the bases loaded in the first inning tonight. Brian Mitchell will now take his turn against this Blue Jays starting lineup. Blue Jays are 83 and 69. And they'll lead off their second baseman, Devin Travis. Josh Donaldson at third base, bats second. Hitting third, first baseman, Edwin Encarnacion. He has 42 home runs. The DH is Jose Bautista. Good numbers against the Yankees lifetime. Former Yankee Russell Martin will catch. The shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki. Then Michael Saunders at right. The center fielder is Kevin Pillar. And Ezekiel Carrera, the left fielder, will bat ninth.
Brian Mitchell gets a start for the Yankees tonight. 25-year-old right-hander. And these are his numbers. 3 starts, 1-1. The ERA. He's got to throw more strikes. As we check the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. This young man from Reidsville, North Carolina, was supposed to go to North Carolina, but turned him down. Turned down the Tar Heels, signed with the Yankees.
And deals to Travis. There's a strike.
And the Jays are the one. We mentioned he has 1 win, 1 major league win. He beat the Jays September 7th at Yankee Stadium, 5 shutout innings. And look for the hook. If his curveball is working and he's getting it over, he can be tough to handle. He's got a very good fastball.
Loop to shallow right. Hicks comes on to make the play. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense presented by Geico. We started with Hicks, so we'll go from there. Center field is Ellsbury. Gardner's at left. We'll go the other way in the infield. Headley, Gregorius, Torreyes, and Butler at first. Romine's behind the plate. And on the mound, the rookie Brian Mitchell.
Talked about Mitchell throwing strikes. Just be careful with this guy. Donaldson's hit 7 first pitched home runs this year. 7 of them.
473 hitting the first pitch. Tried to hit home run number 8 right there.
Whoa.
26 for 55 on the first pitch.
Well, if nothing else, with the swing and a miss, he's loose for the rest of this at bat.
Sporting shoes that Joe Willie Namath would be proud of.
How about Billy White Shoes Johnson?
That's true.
Yeah.
The 0-2 outside.
Mentioned Mitchell has to throw more first pitch strikes. Only 49% of his first pitches thus far have been strikes. So you continue to fall behind the hitters, you're going to have some issues.
Nub slowly at the third baseline, but it's a foul ball.
There's that curveball we were talking about. That game on September 7th at Yankee Stadium, Mitchell worked 5 shutout innings, 4 hits, a couple walks, a couple of strikeouts, and the Yankees won that game. Bullpen took over, shut down the Blue Jays from there. Yankees won 2-0. And that was Mitchell's first major league win.
One-two. Throwing hard, 96 miles an hour with the fastball. 2-2.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball, and the secondary pitches, when they start to come around, hitters cannot just look for one pitch.
Rounded to first. Butler bobbles again, and throws it past Mitchell. Backing up Romine. So Donaldson reaches on the E3.
Well, Billy Butler mainly employed the last few years as a designated hitter. As that ball, if Donaldson had gone to second, he could have been charged with 2 errors. First missing the ball and then throwing it away. But Donaldson's going to reach on the E3.
Here's Encarnacion. He has 42 home runs, second to the Orioles, or Trumbo, with 43.
The thing about it, both of them are going to be free agents at the end of the year. 2 big home run hitters.
Now, you can't say that Butler is a novice at first base. He's had 425 career games over at first, but he's been a DH for a while now.
He's not going to be confused with Mark Teixeira at first base.
Did he go around? Yes, he did.
Well, the umpires in the stands do not agree with this. You might have heard the booing after the call by first base umpire Dan Bellino. But it is a strike.
Outside. Take a look at the Honda League leaders, and sitting atop the RBI leaderboard is Encarnacion, followed closely by Ortiz. Then Pujols, Ramirez, and Betts. How about that? 3 of the top 5 play for the Red Sox.
They aren't the top run scoring team for nothing. These guys will get on base and somebody drives you in. They've been in the run scoring mode, as the Yankees saw, and now next the Orioles saw.
Three-two. Chopped right side and through the hole for a base hit. Donaldson will stop at second, so Encarnacion picks up a single.
Looked like Donaldson was thinking about third base, but it's around the league. Hicks has a strong arm, and Donaldson's been battling a bad hip. He's been the designated hitter in some games of late. Look at a big hole, and Encarnacion just slaps it the other way. Donaldson going to slam on the brakes around at second base. Hit it through there like he was a left-handed hitter. The Hicks charged the ball very well, and Donaldson is going to hold it second.
So early trouble for Liriano, now early trouble for Brian Mitchell, and here's the dangerous Jose Bautista. Not having the season he wanted as he becomes a free agent at the end of this year. Been injury plagued, numbers are down.
He's missed 42 games with a variety of injuries. Had a big home run on Wednesday in the 9th inning to tie the game at 1 in Seattle against the Mariners, but then the Mariners won the game in the 12th inning 2-1 to avoid the sweep.
Red Sox jump out to a 2-0 lead against Chris Archer in Tampa Bay. Archer had a very funny line. He was talking to Dan Martin of the New York Post, and Martin asked him, do you think there's a possibility that with all the young players Yankees have in their system that they could trade some of those players for you? He goes, there's no way the Rays would trade me within the division. He said, the only way they would is if the Yankees gave Gary Sanchez, and that would just be dumb.
Yeah, well, in that case, it's not going to happen.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout of Bautista for the second out.
Yeah, big fastball from Brian Mitchell. Does the job. He blew it right on by him. Oh. Just a little one-on-one there. The thing about Boston scoring, what, they must have scored in the first inning.
Yep.
2 runs in the first. I was watching the game last night, Tampa. You have to create your own atmosphere there.
Yes.
It is really quiet.
Here's Russell Martin. Watch him with the first pitch. 21 for 41 first pitch. Takes that one outside.
Yeah, he got up to a dreadful start this year. Just awful. But since August 1st, 13 home runs for Russell Martin. And 20 on the season.
Big crowd here at Rogers Center. Big crowds expected for all 4 games.
This kind of reminds people around here of the mid-90s when the Jays were leading the league in attendance. They were leading the league in attendance this year on the strength of the year they had last year.
This is how big a crowd this is. You know, ESPN is here to broadcast the World Cup of Hockey. So they're not playing tonight. And a couple of the broadcasters and producers called up Jay's PR for tickets to the game. They were told they could not accommodate them.
Whoa.
Three 3-0 on Martin. First and second, 2 men out. We're in the bottom of the first inning. So the Yankees loaded the bases with 2 outs in the top of the first, couldn't get it done. Now the Blue Jays load the base with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki.
Yeah, when you look at the way that's happened for both teams, I think Liriano's was more of his own making, a double and a 2 base on balls. I mean, there's been an error this inning that should have been an out. And all intents and purposes, Mitchell should have been out of the inning.
And a strike on the outside corner to Tulowitzki.
There's another Blue Jay with over 20 home runs, 24 for Tulowitzki.
Great numbers lifetime with the bases loaded. And they're loaded right now. And the count 0-1 on Tulowitzki. And those numbers get better as he lines one into left center field. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run single for Tulowitzki, and it's 2-0 Toronto.
Well, we told you Blue Jay bats have been somewhat dormant on the road trip, but they've always hit well in this ballpark. It was up in the zone and was not in the passing lane. This one, Tulowitzki gets a hold of, rips it to the gap in left center. And with 2 outs, the runners are on the move. As soon as the ball is hit, 2 runs will score. And the Blue Jays jump out in front here in the first inning.
So quick trip to the mound by Rothschild. Settled down Mitchell. Now, not that it matters unless you're bookkeeping. Those runs are unearned because if Butler makes the play, well, there's 3 outs before Tulowitzki gets up, but they certainly count on the scoreboard.
And it's one thing when you make an error, you just hope that the other team does not score.
Here's Michael Saunders. There's a strike. 0-1.
0-2 on Saunders.
Saunders having a pretty good season. 24 home runs for him. It's a career high. Like Russell Morton, native of Canada, born in British Columbia.
Swing and a miss, so Mitchell avoids further trouble. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 big error. 2 men left on base. We played 1 in Toronto. It's 2-0 Blue Jays. Brought to you by Toyota. RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Do you think that Rogers Center gives the Blue Jays a significant home field advantage? Why or why not? Jeff Joslin once said yes, because the Blue Jays have an entire country rooting for them. Plus, their attendance leads the American League. They actually have done very well on the road this year. 41-37. So this will be their first at least 500 season on the road since 2003.
That's been a problem for them in the past, where they've just come up short in the standings just because of their road record year after year.
I think this place also, Kenny, gets in the heads of some managers and coaches, because there's always been suspicions of people in the hotels and the outfield stealing signs and relaying them to batters. Who knows? 1-2.
Good changeup from Liriano, who's made 1 appearance against the Yankees this year. That was in relief at Yankee Stadium. R.A. Dickey took the loss in that game. I think it's a home field advantage too, because there's not many artificial surface fields left, and it seems that when a team gets used to it, it's time to leave town. And the turf they have in here now is actually a little slower than the turf they had before.
Still 3-2 on Hicks. Bottom third of the Yankee order: Hicks, Romine, and Torreyes.
Blue Jays outfield playing Hicks to hit the ball the other way. Now, sometimes if you're a hitter and you see that, it might give you an indication of how the Blue Jays want to pitch you. Lead you to believe they might want to keep the ball away from you. We've seen several pitches on the outer third of the plate. Hicks just tried to pull a changeup.
Ground ball is short. Tulowitzki gets Hicks. One down. Remember to follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag #YankeesRav4Hybrid to keep the conversation going. Here's Austin Romine. Austin Romine is one of the Yankees that's taken a little bit of a hit in terms of the ascension of Gary Sanchez. Romine was playing a good amount, backing up Brian McCann, but Sanchez plays almost every day behind the plate. Today he's DHing, and they want to get McCann behind the plate as well, so Romine now has really truncated at bats.
We had talked about it, I think in Baltimore, Michael, when he had a hit to drive and run, and how well he hit with runners in scoring position. 375 this year, and that's why he's despite the limited number of at bats, he's got 24 runs batted in. Good check of the swing there. The pitch was a little high, maybe a little inside. So Romine, who's been primarily known as a good defensive catcher, I think he's added to the offense this year. Mariano's made good use of his changeup thus far. He's got some swings and misses on it. Backed it up with another one.
Swing and a miss. Chasing a pitch out of the zone, 2 away.
As Michael called it out of the zone, a high fastball. The target's low and away. Liriano misses, but he still gets the desired result on the swing and miss by Romine. You can see his reaction after chasing a ball out of the strike zone.
And the pitch to Torres is a strike. Liriano had trouble in the first, the 2-out double by Sanchez, and then a walk to Butler and a walk to Gregorius, but Headley struck out to leave the bases loaded.
Been watching Torres hit all season long, and it's kind of interesting the way he sets up. The bat is almost straight up and down, but as the pitch approaches, he drops it back into a hitting zone, kind of loops it over his shoulder, and then swings the bat.
Fly ball right field. Saunders is there, and a 1-2 inning for Liriano and the Blue Jays. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 2-0 Toronto. Report brought to you by Mohegan Sun. Unlimited possibilities await you at Mohegan Sun. Plan your trip at mohegansun.com.
Well, patience and power, although the bats have quieted down a bit. But they lead the league in walks, and they're second in home runs. There's John Gibbons, the manager. And we talked about their September slumber.
Ground ball by Pilar. Nice play by Torreyes. And the throw pulls Butler off the bag as Pilar is safe.
I believe it's going to be scored a base hit. Degree of difficulty is Torreyes ranging far to his left. Going to catch this one in short right field. And he knew he had to hustle. Pilar can run a little bit, throw is high and wide, and Pilar sneaks in the back door. Butler trying to apply the tag, couldn't do so, and Pilar has himself a leadoff single here in the second inning. A hustle single, if you will.
Now, that's one of the times that you can actually sign off from him sliding in, because that way you avoid the tag. You don't get the first quicker, but you do avoid the tag. Here's Carrera.
We're talking about the September slumber. Michael told you the Blue Jays are just 7-12 in this month, and it's really because they didn't hit all that much on the road trip. And the final point, one thing that John Gibbons has seen his starting pitching do this year, they lead the league in innings pitched. And they could do something that's never been done in Major League Baseball history. They could lead the league in innings pitched without a complete game.
Ezekiel Carrera with a ground ball through the right side. Boy, they have an alleyway right there to keep picking up hits. So first and second, nobody out.
Well, Pilar tried to get it through the hole, almost did. Carrera does get it through. As he bounces one into right field for a base hit. Should be interesting to see what the Blue Jays do here. Before the game, out early, Devin Travis was out working on his bunting. And let's see if he gets a chance to use that work right now.
Yankees are expecting the bunt in at the corners. Tries to bunt and fouls it off.
Yeah, it's one thing when the coach is just soft tossing and you're working on your bunting. There's a third base coach, Luis Rivera, giving the signs. And it's another thing when you're trying to bunt a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that might be a little up in the zone.
Travis had a 17-game hitting streak snapped on Wednesday. Hit .392 during the streak. Let's see if he's bunting again. Yep. Bunted to Headley. Nobody's covering third, so the throw is made to first with Torreyes covering. Sack by 4. No wheel play, so once you get it down to the third baseman, you have to throw it to first.
Now here's the bunt. I mentioned he was out early today, and it was first base coach Tim Leeper who was throwing to Travis. So Travis, as he crosses first base, he might get a congratulations from his first base coach. Work paid off and a sacrifice bunt.
Oh, tough decision now. First base is open, but Encarnacion on deck, so you pitch to Donaldson with runners on second and third. Yankees have the infield back at short and second. Not even with the bag at third and first. Good speed on third. So with Donaldson up, we'll take a look at the Jeep Hitter Scout report on Donaldson.
Yeah, 952 OPS. It's on base percentage plus slugging, and that is actually higher than it was last year when he won the MVP. Last year was 939. He's second in the league in walks with 101. Only Mike Trout has more with 106. And last year, Donaldson, along with the MVP award, got the Hank Aaron Award, which goes to the best hitter in the league.
Pilar at third. Ezekiel Carrera is at second. Blue Jays already lead 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second. One man out.
Mentioned a 952 OPS. There's only 2 players in the league with a higher OPS than Donaldson. One is Mike Trout, who's an MVP candidate, as he usually is, and the other is David Ortiz, who's #1. His is over 1,000.
Two and one.
OPS is a good number to judge how good a ball player you are. On base, the number of opportunities you set up for teammates, and slugging usually means you're driving in runs.
Two one. Chased the pitch up in the zone. 2-2 and fouls it straight back.
Yeah, something tells me he was looking for a fastball. Got it. It just was going to launch. This is kind of going out of the strike zone, which he usually doesn't do. I think those runs were enticing. He's trying to get to 100 runs batted in. He's got 94.
Now the Yankees with 2 strikes bring the infield in. Blocked by Romine. 3-2. Second full count for Mitchell. Time called. And the pitch. He walked him. Second straight inning, the bases loaded.
Well, you can't fault him for being careful with Donaldson, and it does set up a double play situation, but you also bring in the league leader and runs batted into the plate. We're going to have a quick study here for young Mr. Mitchell.
This Carpenter telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Well, the leading RBI man in the American League, second in the majors to Nolan Arenado of the Rockies. And he's up with the bases loaded. Bautista is on deck. Pilar's at third. Carrera's at second. Donaldson over at first. Yankees looking for the double play ground ball here. One and 0. Encarnacion, the third Blue Jay to have 4 seasons with at least 35 homers and 100 ribbies. The others, Carlos Delgado and the guy on deck, Jose Bautista. A strike from Mitchell.
That's a lot of production for a player who's going out on the free agent market at the end of the year. Should draw plenty of attention.
Action in the Yankee bullpen. Right-hander is up. It's Parker. So the early call. 1-1. 2-1. Encarnacion, a .326 hitter, lifetime with the bases loaded. 9 grand slams. Now Mitchell really has problems. 3-1, bases loaded, no place to put Encarnacion.
Yanked down on a breaking ball. Good snatch by Romine to come up with it.
Full house, full throat. Looking for a big hit. The 3-1. And he walks in a run. 3-0 Blue Jays.
Give Encarnacion the easy run batted in. Number 124 on the year.
Mentioned that Mitchell got the win against the Blue Jays, but he hasn't pitched well since then, and now struggling here. First inning really wasn't his fault. This one, no one to blame. Bautista struck out in the first. Now he has the bases loaded. 1 man out. Yankees at double play depth. Strike, outside corner. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-1.
Yeah, he's had trouble getting that over, so he's becoming very predictable as far as the lone pitch he can get over here in the early going in the game. I don't think he's had a called strike on a breaking ball.
44 pitches, 25 strikes. Carrera is at third. Donaldson second. Encarnacion first. Bautista chases the high fastball, 1-2.
Here's another hitter who doesn't chase very often, but he's thinking fastball. He got it, couldn't get on top of it. Mitchell has good enough of an arm that he can blow it by you upstairs.
One-two, up the middle. Torreyes goes to second one. On the first, it's a double play. Nice play by Torreyes. A good turn by Gregorius. And a 4-6-3 double play. And the Yankees escape further trouble. It looked like it was ticking it up the middle, but Torreyes had other ideas. We go to the third. It's 3-0 Toronto.
Rakovitz, and it's time for tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Starlin Castro remains out of the lineup, still dealing with that strained right hamstring. He is doing better. There are signs of progress, guys. Joe Girardi said the other day that he was optimistic that he might be able to join the team as early as the end of this series, but he kind of said today that might be a long shot. Starlin Castro did say he was going to hit in the cage for the first time today. The hamstring is feeling a little bit better, but still hasn't done any real running or any real fielding, so he doesn't have a great gauge right now on exactly how that hamstring feels. So they are hoping to get him back relatively soon. You saw the season numbers, but he's been hitting even better than that in the months of August and September.
Yeah, he was riding right along with Gary Sanchez when he got hurt and putting up impressive numbers for the season. I'm sure he'd like to finish it out. He's at 69 RBIs, and those are minor things, but rounded out. But you don't push it either.
Now the Yankees facing a lot of left-handers that could certainly use him in the lineup.
Tulowitzki can't come up with that ground ball, so Gardner will reach.
It should be an E6. Tulowitzki usually very sure-handed. He's not to double figures in errors this year. This is only his 9th on the season.
So that's the 20th error by the Blue Jays in the month of September.
Yeah, defense is getting a little porous down the stretch.
Here's Ellsbury. And a strike. Ellsbury struck out in the first on the road trip, 3 for 24. There's a base hit for the Yankees center fielder. So the Yankees have the first 2 runners on here in the third. First and second, nobody out, and a single for Ellsbury.
Liriano with a good try, going for the backhand stab, didn't come up with it. The Yankees got something going here in the third inning.
Catch a break with that double play ground ball. Nice play by Torres.
Yeah.
So keeping it 3-0.
For the game, I was talking to Joe Girardi about Gary Sanchez. It's been 2 years in a row now. The Yankees have called up a player late in the season, and that player has gone on to lead the team in home runs from that point on. Last year was Greg Bird. Hit 11 home runs in a little over 40 games. It led the Yankees from the time he was called up. This year, it's going to be Gary Sanchez. Now, these two will be reunited next spring. Two of the young power hitters of the future for the Yankees. And for Yankee fans, it'll feel so good.
See what you did there. Well, they're going to be battles all around.
Yeah.
Tyler Austin and Greg Bird at first, and Aaron Judge and Aaron Hicks out right. I think there's going to be a battle for the catching position. High fly ball, center field. Pilar makes the catch. Tagging is Gardner. He'll go to third. Ellsbury just drew the throw. He'll head back to first. So a long fly ball for Sanchez. We'll be keeping track of these games of interest. The Orioles really have hit the skids. 2-0 Arizona leads Baltimore, bottom of the third. Boston 2-1 over Tampa Bay, bottom of the third. Detroit 3-0 over Kansas City. That's in the bottom of the third. Just underway, the Angels at the Astros, and there's a delay, Seattle at Minnesota.
They had to play a doubleheader yesterday because they got rained out in their first game against Detroit at Target Field. By the way, that was a just missed by Gary Sanchez on that fly ball to center.
Billy Butler takes inside 1-0. Butler walked in the first inning. Yankees just could not get the big hit last night. They had so many guys on base and just couldn't get it done. They ended up losing the game 2-0. 2-0 on Butler. Ooh, Gardner somehow got out of the way.
He's kind of looking in at Billy Butler after this. You take your lead in foul territory. That way, if you're hit with the ball, it's a foul ball. If you're hit in fair territory, you're out. So Gardner, well in foul territory, hop, skip, and a jump, and he's out of the way.
Might not have been out if he got hit. He would have been down, though.
You know, when you've made an error in a game and you allowed some runs to score, and they're unearned, you get up with a chance to drive in run. You want to drive in some runs.
Trying to tie the game right there, 2-2.
Like the high fastball, this is much in the same area. We saw Butler hit a home run at Fenway Park. It was a pitch that was kind of up and in.
Swing and a miss. Butler down on strikes.
Fourth strikeout for Liriano. This time it looks like it's a high slider that Butler can't connect with.
So 2 down, and that brings up Didi, who walked in the first inning. On 1. Strike. Swing and a miss. Nope, got a piece to stay alive. Spoils that one and pops it up behind the plate and out of play. Yankee fan gets booed and gets fed some peanuts.
I'll tell you what, that guy's got to be living right there. How many Blue Jays fans are around him? He got the ball.
Blue Jays going to get this one. Travis is there, and the Yankees had runners on first and second and nobody out. They don't get a run. No runs a hit, 1 error, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third, 3-0 Jays. the 55th anniversary of Roger Maris's American League record-setting season on Saturday, October 1st, and get one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's Roger Maris Bobblehead Day, the final one in the 2016 Collectible Series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or you may call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Well, Yankees have left 5 runners on base in 3 innings. And the Jays have a 3-0 lead. Here's Russell Martin. Brian Mitchell deals a breaking ball inside.
Russell Martin and Michael Saunders are both going to bat in this inning. First pair of Canadian-born teammates to have at least 20 home runs in the same season. Productive hitters in this Blue Jay lineup. Martin was born in East York, Ontario, and I mentioned Michael Saunders born in British Columbia. I always felt that teams, when they had a chance to have local players on their team, they'd get a lot of opportunity. It's always good for the fan base to see somebody from your area playing for your hometown team.
Mitchell wanted that one. He didn't get it from Hallion, so they count 3-1.
High fastball. Did have the corner, but it might have been a little bit high.
Martin walked in the first inning. And that one is punched to right field. Kenny, very clearly their approach with Mitchell is to go the other way, and they've done it very effectively in the first 3 innings.
Well, he hasn't hit the inside corner very often with his fastball. And it, you know, if you look at the video, I'm sure maybe it indicated to the Blue Jays everything's going to be away. And it looked like a little cutter, maybe a little slider. And Russell Martin goes with it, loops it in for a base hit. He's been one of the hotter hitters on the Blue Jays, who recently kind of hit a hitting slump. Having another good season. Back-to-back 20 home run seasons for the first time in his career.
Well, for the 3rd inning, the 3rd time that Rothschild has made a trip, and now Richard Blyer is up. Well, the Yankees left St. Pete last night, Kenny, and all the Yankee rookies were dressed in baby clothes with bonnets and pacifiers and onesies and
bottles.
Yeah, for baby bombers. And they all did it, and no complaints.
It's that time of year.
Yep. Usually the last road trip of the year, they do that. They did it yesterday.
Meredith is showing me a picture of some of the outfits. Quite darling.
Tulowitzki, big 2-run single in the first inning, takes a pitch low. I ran into Blyer and his wife today in the hotel, and you know, everybody got into the hotel about 3:34 in the morning. See if they could turn 2 here. There's 1. And there's 2. And she said he walked in with a bonnet and a pacifier. I didn't know what was going on at like 4 in the morning. I said those outfits were tame. In past years, they've had the rookies dressed up in Hooters outfits. And she said if that would have happened, I could not unsee that.
You know what? They were probably thinking that if they had done that again, they wouldn't have gotten into Canada. They would have stopped them at customs.
One year they were Star Wars characters. one of the customs officers last night said, "What's the deal with this?" Had to be explained. The 0-1. 1-1.
Michael Saunders, I had mentioned, born in Victoria, BC, British Columbia. British Columbia, out there on the West Coast. Of course, Vancouver kind of reminds you of Seattle. Sort of a smaller version of Seattle, Washington. Right on the ocean. 10 Canadian provinces. And BC is the third most populous after Ontario and Quebec.
1-2. 2-2.
So in the equivalency of the United States, we have 50 states. The third most populous is Florida. So Vancouver or British Columbia is like Florida. Except without the palm trees.
Yeah, it's a little cooler.
Yeah, a little cooler.
Boy, Mitchell's really working through these innings. This is going to be his 60th pitch.
Yeah, he has labored right from the start.
Fly ball right field. Hicks is there, and he'll put it away. And that will do it in the third. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the fourth. It's 3-0 Blue Jays. It's beyond comprehension. Headley, it's a ground ball to third. Nice play by Donaldson. He took an extra base hit away from Chase Headley to start the fourth.
Well, Headley, a third baseman in his own right, and a pretty good one. Certainly has to appreciate this play. Well, maybe he does. Great play by Donaldson. First of all, coming up with a short hop on the backhand from foul territory, then releasing the hounds. Here it comes. Beautiful throw on Yesmo, right across the diamond of Encarnacion. Well, just a great play by a very, very good player.
And that's Yesmo, brought to you by your Tri-State Mercedes-Benz dealer. One 1-0 on Aaron Hicks. Hicks grounded to short in the second. We're in the fourth. It's 3-0 Toronto, the first game of this four-game set. You see that on the Audi scoreboard.
Bob say Big Papi hit another one?
Mm-hmm.
Why he couldn't stop?
It's weird.
I know he says it. You know, it takes him forever to get ready for a game.
You know how long it takes at Christmas to return gifts? He's got to return all of those gifts that people are giving him.
Yeah, that broken phone the Orioles gave him last night. I was only kidding. I'll tell you what, nobody has ever seen anything like this.
No. Now, Sandy Koufax had an unbelievable final year, but he retired because of injury. His shoulder was killing him. Fly ball, deep left center. On the run is Pilar. 2 away. We have another trip to Bob Lorenzville. Thank you, Bob. Segura's having a very good year for the Diamondbacks, who are not having a very good year.
We saw him earlier this season. I think it was back in May, and he hit well in that series against the Yankees.
And Romine swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Catch is made by Travis. And a quick inning for Francisco Liriano. He retires the Yankees in order. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Brought to you in part by People's United Bank N.A., where mobile cash management keeps your business at hand. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. Beautiful city, Toronto. Very quick tide. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Audi scoreboard 3-0 Toronto. Kevin Pillar leads off. And Mitchell starts him off with a breaking ball strike.
Go all the way back to spring training. The Blue Jays are thinking of making Kevin Pillar the leadoff hitter. Well, that experiment didn't last all that long. Pillar not really too selective at the plate. He's only walked 22 times this year. John Gibbons dropped him down in the order. Since late August, though, Pillar's been hitting just over 300.
Line drive, base hit. Boy, this has been a slog for Brian Mitchell. That phone's getting a lot of use.
Yeah, just the third straight inning, the leadoff man has been on with a base hit. The last 2 innings, he's gotten double plays to help himself out. So get another one of those in this inning. Pitcher's best friend.
Here's Ezekiel Carrera.
Blake Parker throwing in a bullpen. We're one of those veteran type fourth outfielders, fourth or fifth outfielder on a team. 29 years old.
Runner goes, and Mitchell steps off and flips it to Gregorius. We have a rundown. And Torreyes makes the tag. Pilar just took off while Mitchell was still in the set.
Well, how's the song go? He made his move too soon. He was expecting him to deliver and trying to time it, and the timing was way off. So it's 1-3-6, 3-4. Caught stealing.
Grounded to Butler for the second out. We go back to Bob Lorenz. I'll tell you what, Upton's kind of saved the season with this month.
Yeah, well, he got off to, speaking of getting off to a slow start, I think he was experiencing some boos in Detroit at the beginning of the year, but you see 9 home runs in September. Oh, they're starting to cheer now.
So here's Devin Travis. And a strike.
You know, well, those automobile companies might be coming out with a new model in Upton.
It's not great when it comes right out of the showroom, but after you warm it up.
You get used to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
0-2 on Travis. And there's his brother.
Yeah.
Melvin Upton Jr. Formerly B.J. Upton.
Yeah, well, sitting on 299 career steals, Melvin Upton.
Line foul.
You think about the players, and Melvin Upton's one of them. They come from teams that are not really in it, been struggling all year. You get traded to a team, every game means something going down the stretch. Blue Jays fighting to make the playoffs. Looks like the Red Sox have, you know, built up a belief they're going to win the division, but the wild card is still open. You think of Billy Butler on the Yankees, came over from Oakland, last place or down near last place all year. Now he's on a team where games in September mean something. This is what you want. You come out here to win games if you can and have some meaning to what you're trying to do.
1-2.
I love playing in September. We're chasing. As long as we were in it, I was in it. And if we had the lead, not giving it back. It's the best time of the year. Then you get to the playoffs, things get even more harrowing.
Travis battling.
Even more pressure. But when I look back, I just think of how much just overall fun it was, even with all the pressure.
Kind of what you play for.
Exactly.
2-2. Grounded to third. Headley across the diamond, and the stretch by Butler, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Let's go to the 5th here in Toronto. It's 3-0 Blue Jays. He's got to pace himself. He's got a big game. Long game here.
Stay away from that chocolate and the coffee.
You can't even get near it. You can't leave the studio. Torres swings at the first pitch and skies it to right field. 1 pitch, 1 out. A 7-pitch 1-2-3 inning for Liriano in the 4th, and now Torres swings at the first pitch for 1 out here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Gardner. Cadillac scoreboard 3-0 Toronto. On the lineup sheet that the Blue Jays give out, it has Brett Gardner leading off, Gardiner, which is the name of their, what would you say, it's their FDR drive?
Yeah, it's the expressway right outside of Rogers Center here, which is, in all regards, it looks a lot like the FDR drive at 5 o'clock.
Never move.
Never. You're not going anywhere.
No matter what time. The 0-2 slap foul.
And it seems like all roads lead down to downtown.
Fly ball left field deep. Going back, Carrera on the track. He makes the play for the 2nd out. Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices, and you can enjoy a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV today. Eight in a row retired by Liriano after Ellsbury's single in the 3rd. Here's Ellsbury with 2 outs in the 5th. And a strike. The 0-2. Ground ball up the middle. Travis charges and gets Ellsbury. So 9 in a row retired by Liriano. The end of 4.5, halfway through, 3-0 Blue Jays. Money to hear from Houston Texans president Jamie Roots on hosting Super Bowl 51. Plus, get analysis of the new Twitter Thursday Night Football streaming deal, along with new NFL team valuations. Premieres tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Brian Mitchell still in. He certainly has struggled, but the last 2 innings a little bit more manageable. The bullpen was throwing in the 2nd inning, but he has held them off as the Cadillac scoreboard shows Toronto 3 and New York 0. Dangerous part of the order for which to navigate: Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Bautista. Driven to left field and deep. Going back is Gardner. On the track, he'll make the play. A sinking line drive as Donaldson makes the first out of the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that one had a little overspin on it. Well, he's got a quick bat. He's thinking it might have had a chance. Gardner almost went back too far as he makes the catch in front of the Blue Jays bullpen. We're out number 1.
Here's Encarnacion. Well, a bases loaded walk. So with that bases loaded walk and the 2-run home run in the 1st inning by David Ortiz, the 2 of them are tied for the American League RBI lead with 124. And the 0-1. Fly ball, deep left center. Giving chase is Gardner, and he's there to make the play. 2nd out.
2 outs, 2 pretty good swings from 2 pretty good hitters. Let's see what he wants it down and away, but it's almost right down the middle.
I think Mitchell thought it was gone.
Yeah, he got away with one. Because Encarnacion usually doesn't miss these. I don't think he quite got it on the sweet spot.
Here's Bautista. Oh, 1. Bautista had a chance to break open the game in the second and knock Mitchell out of the game. Bases loaded, 1 out, but he wrapped into a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. He's 0 for 2. Rounded to third. And a 1-2-3 inning for Mitchell as he has settled down and found his breaking ball a bit, making things easier. We go to the 6th, 3-0 Jays. This Sunday afternoon when the Yankees take on Toronto in Game 3 of 4 here at Rogers Center. You start your game day at noon with Audi batting practice today and then the Chevy pregame. And then we're back with the call right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now remember, tomorrow's Yankees-Blue Jays game will be on Pix 11. And Yes is going to have pregame coverage beginning at 3:30 and then Yankees extra innings postgame coverage after the final out. So that sets you up for the weekend. 1-0 count to Sanchez. Sanchez is 1 for 2. He doubled over the head of Carrera and left. It bounced over the wall. Got himself a double in the first and then hit the ball well, but just missed it. Deep fly ball to center in the third inning. 2-0. Let's strike.
It's coming up. Sanchez has hit, what, 19 home runs? Total of 7,727 feet. It's like a mile and a half worth of home runs.
That one is looped into left center, and it's going to find AstroTurf for a base hit. Pilar thought about making a go for it, but didn't want it to get past him, so Sanchez picks up his second hit of the night.
Yeah, one reason he couldn't get to it is because he's playing fairly deep with Sanchez at the plate. And he has to slam on the brakes, play the ball on the high hop off the turf. Sanchez has his second hit of the night. The Yankees only have 3. He has 2 of them.
Here's Butler. He walked in the first inning and struck out with runners on first and third and 1 out in the third inning. His error in the first inning essentially allowed 2 unearned runs to score. Brett Cecil and Joe Biagini warming for the Toronto Blue Jays. Right in on the hands, fouled off, 0-2. We're in the 6th. It's 3-0 Toronto. Again, right in on the hands.
Now, last time up, Liriano got away with a pitch. He struck out Butler on a high slider out over the plate. His slider is most effective when it's down and in.
I was looking at notes on the wild card teams. Blue Jays, Tigers, Orioles, Astros, Mariners, and Yankees taking it down to those 7 teams. And with the remaining schedule, the Yankees have the 2nd toughest strength of schedule in baseball. And the toughest of all the wild card contenders. The Blue Jays have the 3rd toughest. Swing and a miss. Chase that pitch way out of the zone. Tigers have the 11th, Orioles the 18th, Astros the 26th, and the Mariners the 29th. So a lot of big hills to climb. That brings up Didi. Missed inside. Pitch count is 90. And it's brought to you by Action. And that's how it breaks down. You got to work hard in the 1st inning. And the Yankees had the bases loaded. He threw 28 pitches. 4th and the 5th. Those pitches keeping him in this game right now. That one's fouled off. 1-1. Two and 1.
Now tonight, this is kind of the Liriano that the Blue Jays wanted when they got him from Pittsburgh. They wanted a veteran left-hander sticking to a rotation.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
And Liriano had been struggling somewhat over with the Pirates. Came in tonight with an overall record of 7-13 with a 5.08.
Could not hold up. Waves through it. 2 away.
And sometimes a change of scenery will spark a player, get him going. There's that breaking ball I was talking, and Didi's going to follow it across home plate and out of the strike zone.
Here's Chase Headley robbed of an extra base hit. Hot shot down the 3rd baseline. Nice play by Donaldson leading off the 4th. Pitch outside.
Now, one thing Liriano has done that no other player's done. Twice he's been comeback player of the year. He did it with the Twins in 2010. And he did it with Pittsburgh in 2013.
I don't know if you want to win that award twice.
You know, it's kind of a.
You've had 2 bad years.
Well, you have, but it's good in a way because you
bounce back.
You bounce back. Okay, he went from 5-13 to 14-10, and from 6-12 with 2 teams to 16-8 the next year.
2-2. Three and two, so that releases Sanchez at first. Only the second full count of the game for Liriano. Encarnacion is going to play slightly behind Sanchez, who can get a running start. He does. 3-2. Fly ball right field. Coming on is Saunders. He's there to make the play. For the final out. No runs a hit, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 3-0 Blue Jays. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Red Sox have an 8-game winning streak. 4 games against the Yanks, 4 games against the Orioles. Take control of the East. Daniel Murphy strained his left glute out indefinitely. That is a loss the Nationals want no part of, and the bad luck for the Mets pitching staff continues. Noah Syndergaard, that last remaining young stud, scratched from tomorrow's start against the Phillies with strep throat. And this on the heels of yesterday finding out that Matt scratched from the start, was supposed to be today, because of a sore shoulder. They've already lost Harvey. Wheeler hasn't pitched at all this year in the big leagues. It has just gone on and on. DeGrom's having surgery. So the strength of their team has really taken a hit, but they're still there, fighting for the wild card in the National League. Here's Russell Martin against Brian Mitchell. First pitch swinging, and he grounds it to short. Pitch, one out.
So you're saying the last man standing is 43-year-old Bartolo Colon.
And Syndergaard.
Well, Syndergaard's got a strep throat.
Well, a strep throat will get better. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And they really signed him thinking he was holding a spot till Wheeler came back from Tommy John surgery, but Wheeler's had a lot of setbacks. Here's Tulowitzki. 2-run single in the first, wrapped into a double play in the third. Boy, people have some reservations tonight. Fly ball. Right center. Ellsbury's there. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the sixth.
Like they're trying to beat the traffic or something.
Now, speaking of traffic, Kenny.
Yeah, tell me.
Tomorrow's game is at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the World Cup of Hockey, which is played right down the road at the Air Canada Center. It's going to have 20,000 people. This is supposed to be a sellout about 50,000. So right around 7, 8 o'clock, there's going to be 70,000 people in this small area. And they're closing a lot of streets around here too.
So maybe we have to walk back to the hotel.
Looks like it.
Yeah. It's a good exercise.
You always want a pitcher to be dominant, Kenny, but Mitchell gains a lot of respect in that dugout for having so little in the first couple of innings and then straightening things out and giving you what amounts to a quality start.
He's given up 2 hits since the second inning. Both singles.
And from the second inning, each inning after that, he's faced the minimum batter. So single was erased with a double play. Pilar was picked off. And now he's trying for a 1-2-3 inning here to end the 6th. And I'm sure that's what Girardi will talk about after the game, the grinded out attitude that Mitchell had. A lot of pitchers fold the tent, and that's it. I don't have it today.
I think you got to remember too that Mitchell was working his way back. He missed most of the season. I think this is a definite plus the way he's pitched tonight, even though he's trailing 3-0.
And he ends up walking Saunders.
He had 3 walks in the first 2 innings. That's his first walk since the second. And the Yankee bullpen is up. So is the Blue Jay bullpen. Which leads me to believe that maybe Liriano's night is over.
And Romine goes out and talked with Mitchell.
Yeah, this is just to there's 2 outs here in the inning, but this is just to give the bullpen guys a little bit more time. '16th round pick, 2009. That looked like a good pitch. Didn't get the call.
And here comes Rothschild. Visit number 4.
Think of Larry Rothschild. You see him walking back there. It's very rare that a pitching coach has everybody on the team pitching well at the same time. There's always some fires to be put out somewhere, whether it's a bullpen, somebody working in a bullpen, or starting rotation. Somebody needs help in certain areas. You're throwing between starts. Just a lot of work to be a pitching coach. Some guys are more coachable than others.
How many times are you going to go to the rosin bed? Unless Rothschild says just stall so they can get more pitches thrown in the bullpen. He still has to finish this at bat. Lyer and Parker have been throwing. They are ready. There's a strike. 2-1.
He's going to it again. Gaylord Perry's from North Carolina. He used to load up with the rosin in his hand and throw the ball. And you see this little
puff ball.
Yeah, a puff ball. That's a trick you learned in the Tar Heel State.
missed outside. And another trip to the bag. If he doesn't throw a strike here, he's not throwing another pitch.
He should stay away from the rising bag.
3-2. Well, 3-1 now, a 3-2, a fastball strike. That's his 5th full count and the 5th trip to the bag. So Saunders will go at first. Butler will play behind him. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0. Blue Jays lead. Probably swung at ball 4, fouled it away.
And we mentioned Pilar doesn't walk very often.
Have you ever seen a pitcher go to the rosin bag between every pitch?
No.
He has gone to in every pitch in this at bat. Three-two. Grounded to third, charging Headley, and that will do it. As Mitchell, last 6. He's given up 3. We go to the 7th. It's Blue Jays 3, Yankees nothing. Verizon called to the bullpen. So that means Liriano's night is over. And the night of Joaquin Benoit will begin. He'll pitch the 7th. And he'll face the bottom 3rd of the Yankee order with the Yankees trailing 3-0. Yankees didn't score last night and haven't scored yet tonight.
Seattle and Toronto, those are overall numbers for the veteran Benoit, but he has been excellent with Toronto. 2-0 with a 0.42 ERA. This is his 24th appearance with the Blue Jays.
GMC scoreboard 3-0 Blue Jays. Sellout crowd of 47,016 at Rogers Center. Benoit
used to throw very hard coming out of the bullpen. He's Doesn't have that type of power anymore. It's more precision now.
Fly ball left side. Carrera, a long run, but it's about 4 or 5 rows back.
And you also saw that movement on the last fastball fouled off by Hicks. So it's not Benoit's added movement, precision, and occasional shifts it into overdrive.
Two one. Another foul ball. 2-2.
95 is pretty powerful.
And the 2-2. Missed outside, 3-2. Hicks trying to work his way on to lead off the 7th. And Hicks works a walk to start off the 7th. So Romine due up. And it looks like they're going to send up a pinch hitter. Probably be McCann. Romine was 0 for 2 against the lefty Liriano. And it is Brian McCann who will make his way to the plate to pinch hit for the Yankee catcher.
McCann's looking for his first pinch hit of the year. He is actually 0 for 11 in a pinch hitting role.
Hicks held it first by Encarnacion. Shift is on. 3 infielders right side. Only Donaldson on the left. Swing and a miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And just a challenging fastball to get things started. Veteran hitter, veteran pitcher.
The 0-1.
Look out.
Right into the Yankee dugout.
Coming
right at you.
Right in your direction. Watch it on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State deal. Yes. Joe Girardi, Brett Gardner came closest to the lumber. Robbie Thompson, bench coach, jumping out of the way.
One and 2 on McCann. McCann hitting .241 this season, 19 homers, 56 ribbies. Obviously, he is handed the everyday catching job to Gary Sanchez, seeing most of his action as the DH. He'll occasionally be behind the plate. Today, Romine got the start as Sanchez DH'd. One-two. Rounded to first. Encarnacion fires the second one. On to first. It's a double play. 3-5-3 as Donaldson took the toss at second.
Encarnacion decides to go to second first, then back on to first, and he's on the spot. Here's Donaldson. And there's the delivery for the double play. Started by Encarnacion, right back where it came from.
Here's Ronald Torreyes. 2 fly balls to right. Benoit deals. Pitches high, 1-0.
You know, as well as Gary Sanchez has been hitting for the Yankees and driving in runs, I think the Yankees really miss Starlin Castro because he was hot at the time of his injury. And he was hitting so well that Joe Girardi had him batting right behind Sanchez in 4th spot in the order.
Popped up. Donaldson will make the play, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base at the end of 6.5. Time for the stretch in Canada. 3-0 Blue Jays. Shut out yesterday, and they've been shut out over the first 7 today. Let's check out tonight's Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. And this is strikeouts by relievers. Astros lead with 576. The Yankees are next at 549. Then the Mariners, Athletics, and Twins. And the Yankees do go to a reliever. And they will bring in Blake Parker for Brian Mitchell.
Done a pretty good job since coming over from the Seattle organization. Opponent's hitting just $190.
strike to Carrera. GMC scoreboard 3-0 Toronto. Bunted toward third base. Barehanded by Headley, but it's a bunt single for Ezekiel Carrera.
Mentioned Carrera, one of those fourth or fifth type outfielders, and if you're going to be in that role, you got to be able to handle a number of things. And one of them is to be able to bunt. And in this case, he lays down a beauty. They're going to beat it out for a base hit. Headley with the try. The old college try, and in Headley's case, it's the University of Tennessee. But Carrera has himself a hit.
And here's Travis. And a strike.
Parker with that unusual set that he comes to. It's like his glove is coming downstairs before it finally settles at the landing. Remember, he has to stop for or pause for a full second before he delivers. One more, that's it.
Bounced up there. Really nice play by McCann.
Curveball in the dirt. McCann shifting over, playing it off the chest protector.
Spoiled and fouled off. Still 1-2.
Michael, you had mentioned that Travis had a 17-game hitting streak broken yesterday. That was the longest hitting streak for a Blue Jay this year. And here's a guy who started the year on the disabled list, missed a lot of time last year with shoulder surgery. Having a good September, good finish.
Way outside. You know, obviously that's his thing, Kenny, and that's how he gets into a position and a set. And you wonder, does it put the infielders back on their heels? Because it takes a long time from the time he gets the sign to the time he's ready to throw.
I think a lot of times if you're throwing strikes and get the ball hit, I think they're okay. But when you start to go deep in the counts, that's a little different story. One more. There he is.
Line drive and past the diving Gregorius for a base hit. Carrera was going on the pitch, so he'll head to third. First and third and nobody out.
Travis is now hitting 18 of his last 19 games. Now you come into the big part of the order. The Yankees bring the infield about halfway.
Fly ball, right field. Hicks in foul territory will make the catch. He's got a good arm, and they know it, so that's why Carrera stayed put. The ball gets away, and that allows Travis to go to second.
Be interesting to see how they account for Travis getting to second base. Now, this might be an error. Now, is the error going to be on Hicks? He looks to see where he is. It's a pretty good throw to home plate. One hop right into the chest, and he gets away from McCann.
It's got to be on McCann.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking the same thing. And there goes Travis down to second.
I mean, that's a perfect throw. A one hopper to the chest. Now they're going to intensely walk Encarnacion to load the bases and bring up Bautista.
You're walking the guy who's tied for the league lead, runs batted in. You can see that. You're bringing up Bautista, who's 0 for 3 tonight, has not gotten the ball out of the infield. But Bautista has a streak where he has reached safely in 29 straight games. So he's been adding to the Blue Jays offense somewhat lately.
Kenny, it has scored an E2, allowing Travis to move to second.
Okay. And that sets up the walk to Encarnacion.
Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen, so a 3-0 game could certainly get out of hand in a hurry. And the way the Yankee offense is, 3-0 is enough of a hill to climb. And now a sellout crowd is getting into it as Bautista comes to the plate.
Infield can drop back now. Double play that.
Starts him off with a breaking ball in the dirt, and he checks the swing 1-0.
Bautista's hit into one double play tonight, but that was the most fortunate one for the Yankees because he hit that ball hard. Torres and Gregorius made nice plays in the middle infield to turn 2. They might be getting their last picture of Jose Bautista in Blue Jay uniform. It's be a free agent at the end of the year.
And a strike. Line down the left field line. It's a base hit. cutting it off before the wall is Gardner. 2-run score. Encarnacion goes to third. It's a 2-run double for Bautista, and it's 5-0 Toronto.
You keep giving these type of hitters opportunities, and eventually they're going to come through. They're just too good. Pitches in, but he's quick. Watch his hands force the bat through. In fact, it's kind of a short stroke. Going to pick up 2 more runs. And while Bautista's not had the type of year he's wanted, and a lot of that's because of injury, had missed 42 games with injuries, but he comes through here for the Blue Jays.
Infield has to come in, second and third, with 1 out, and Russell Martin at the plate. 5-0 Toronto. One and 0. The 1-0. 1-1, big cut by Martin. Russell tonight 1 for 2 with a walk.
You get an example of what a quick strike offense can be. As you said, the Blue Jays have not been hitting all that well in September, but they are very tough in this ballpark. This is a hitter-friendly park.
James Pazos is up. Not too good. 20 pitches, 10 strikes, 10 balls, and a 2-1 count on Martin.
We were talking about during the Red Sox series when we were in Boston about how the Red Sox, how much they've scored this year, and they've certainly have the best offense probably in all of baseball. But we did mention the fact that the Blue Jays and the Orioles also have strong offenses, and the Blue Jays kind of fall in between the two teams. They have more of a batting average, higher batting average than the Orioles. The Orioles hit a lot of home runs. That's the way they score. But all 3 of those teams are powerful teams. And that's one reason why the Yankees have had trouble running them down this year, because they all can score. And the Blue Jays fall in between those 2 teams, those 2 other teams in the American League East, and their abilities to put run on the board.
And he walked him, so the bases are loaded. And Larry Rothschild is wearing a path out to the mound tonight. So they will leave Parker in to face Tulowitzki, and then when it gets to Saunders, they will obviously go to Pazos. So Parker having a very rough 7th inning. Hey, led by Brook Lopez and new point guard Jeremy Lin, the Brooklyn Nets tip off the NBA season with a new head coach, promising new young players, and a whole new culture. Don't miss the excitement of the Nets on Yes, returning Thursday, October 6th, with the Nets' first preseason game against the Detroit Pistons, only on Yes.
Well, you know it's getting late in the baseball season when you start hearing hoop promos. Tulowitzki's been up with the bases loaded once tonight.
They back up. Double play depth. And there's a strike.
That was way back in the first inning, and he had a base hit, drove in 2 runs.
Crowd with the Tulo chant. Just missed. I'm surprised more hitters don't step out because he takes so long. He leans in for the sign, dangles the right arm, gets the sign, and then goes into all the machinations of coming to a set, and a hitter's going to get tense up there. Just call time. And now he steps off.
There you go. You have to throw the ball eventually.
Ground ball, that same spot, base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes the second run. Here's the throw. He's in there. A 2-run single for Tulowitzki. And it's 7-0 Blue Jays.
Second 2-run bases loaded single for Tulowitzki tonight.
Girardi will come get the ball from Parker. He'll call on Pazos to face Saunders. 7-0 Jays. Local Nissan dealer, 7-10-1 for the Blue Jays, 0-3-2 for the Yankees. Brian Mitchell gave the Yankees a quality start after a very rough beginning. He lasted 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, just 1 earned. Walked 4, that's not good, 2 strikeouts. Liriano is lined up to pick up the win unless the Yankees rebound, and Troy Tulowitzki has 2 2-run singles, so 4 ribbies for him, and Jose Bautista a 2-run double. Blake Parker just did not have it here in the bottom of the 7th inning as he lets this game kind of get out of hand. So here's Melvin Upton Jr. to pinch hit for Saunders against James Pazos.
Upton Jr. appearing in his 49th game with the Blue Jays. He came over from San Diego. Hit just 196 with the Jays. He played much better in San Diego.
Line drive, base hit, center field. Martin is at third. He could have scored. He stopped, and the throw came into third from Ellsbury. But Martin did not go. He was not waved home. So a pinch hit single for Upton, and the bases are loaded again.
So Upton joins the hit parade. Line drive over Torreyes. You can see Russell Martin rounding third. It's Luis Rivera, the third base coach, who holds the hands up to stop him. He came very close to touching him. Now, if he does touch him, Martin is out.
And there's a strike.
Blue Jays have batted around here in the 7th inning. Fans are going to have to stretch again.
Pilar fouls it back. Pilar, the 9th batter to come to the plate. The 0-2. Grounded to first. Butler comes home. He gets 1. And that's all they'll get. So a fielder's choice, getting Martin at home.
Good play by Butler to get the lead runner. Talking over bullpen options for the rest of the game.
It's kind of odd the way Joe has managed this inning. It's 3-0. Team's not scoring, so 3 is where you have to keep it. And you don't bring in one of your A relievers who didn't pitch yesterday, and then you keep Parker in as the game's getting out of hand rather than pulling him and bringing in one of those A relievers. It's odd. I mean, with the expanded rosters, you've been mixing and matching for each batter that comes in, but you stay with Parker until the game's out of hand.
Yeah, he stayed with Parker until a left-handed hitter came up, and he brings in a lefty.
Which I understand, but, you know, if you can't get out the righties, then bring in another righty who can get out righties. Tyler Clippard didn't pitch last night. Adam Warren didn't pitch last night. The 0-1.
I think those are the guys he goes to when they have the lead.
Yeah, but now you've got to manage every single game.
As if you, yeah.
mean, they have no offense whatsoever the last couple of days, so 3-0 seems insurmountable. Now what's 7-0? Carrera started it all with a bunt. Just missed on the outside corner. That would have been strike 3, 1 and 2. The pitch missed inside. Two-two. Just missed hitting Ezekiel Carrera. And now the count 3-2, so you can start the merry-go-round.
Right at the belt buckle. Carrera gets out of the way.
So the runners will go. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And a 3-2. Swing and a miss. Pazos gets Carrera, and that'll do it. But 7 runs now on the board for Toronto. 4 in this inning. They leave the bases loaded. At Rogers Center, the starting pitcher is brought to you by Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit getfios.com. CC Sabathia will get the start for the Yanks against Marcus Stroman for the Blue Jays. Now, the coverage begins at 3:30 on Yes. The game is at 4 p.m. on Pix 11. Brett Cecil comes on, and he will face Brett Gardner. There's a strike. Hyundai scoreboard 7-0 Toronto.
Cecil has filled a variety of roles for these Toronto Blue Jays over the years. His college days, he was a closer at Maryland.
Ground ball to second. Travis is there. One away.
The Blue Jays have tried Cecil as a closer. Been a setup man. He's been a starter. And now in the role of a setup man is closer is young Roberto Osuna.
Upton has stayed in to play left, and Carrera moved from left to right. Saunders out of the game. And a pitch to Ellsbury is a strike. Jacoby is 1 for 3.
Well, you talked about the lack of offense. Only 3 hits. Ellsbury has 1. Sanchez has 2.
Well, the score you care about, Yankees losing 7-0, but you see the other scores. Top of the 9th inning, the Orioles just got swept by the Red Sox, now losing 2-1 to the Diamondbacks. 2-1 Red Sox over Tampa Bay, top of the 9th. Detroit beating up on KC. Angels 3, Houston 1, top of the 6th, and Seattle 2, Minnesota 0. It's in the bottom of the 4th. Strike 3. Ellsbury down looking, did not like the call.
Tom Hallion throws out the right hand. Borderline, but called the strike.
Here's Gary Sanchez. Yankees have 3 hits. Sanchez has 2 of them. The other hit by Jacoby Ellsbury. A double and a single for Sanchez. 1-0.
Good breaking ball from Brett Cecil. Half a day off for Sanchez tonight. He's a designated hitter. His bat has been much too potent to take out of the lineup altogether.
Rounded to third, grabbed by Donaldson. And he gets Sanchez, and the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Toronto 7, New York 0. This great ticket offer. Buy special $50 lower level seats and watch the Nets at Barclays Center from an exclusive Nets on Yes section. Plus, get a free t-shirt and have a chance to be seen live on the Yes telecast. To purchase tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com and use the promo code NETSONYES. This offer only applies to the first 5 games of the Nets season. Seats are limited, so please act fast. Restrictions may apply. Hyundai scoreboard 7-0 Toronto. And the pitch is a strike from Ben Heller, who's taken over for James Pazos. That one's driven deep to left field. Going back, Gardner turning, looking. He'll play it off the wall. Travis has a leadoff double.
Well, he told you he's been a hot hitter, and it continues tonight. That's his 2nd consecutive hit. He's had a hit and scored a run last inning. Just quick through the zone here. Trusting his hands, get the barrel of the bat to the ball. 3/4 of the way up the wall for a 2-base hit. For Devin Travis, who had all kinds of shoulder problems, he's going to need more surgery to take that screw out of his shoulder at the end of the season.
This will be Heller's 9th game, giving up 8 hits in 5 innings, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. Donaldson looking to make it 3 home runs and fouls it back.
I don't think I've ever seen him get cheated on a swing. Donaldson's become one of the most popular players on this Blue Jay team. Of course, when you're MVP, everybody loves you. But they probably weren't cheering for him on May 1st, 2010, when he got his first major league hit. And it was a home run, but for the Oakland A's here at the Rogers Center.
I remember when he was with the A's, and he had not yet become quote-unquote Josh Donaldson. And he's taking ground balls before a game, and I was standing with Joe Girardi, who doesn't really tip his hand that much on how he feels about players. And we were standing next to each other, and he just looked at Donaldson and said, that guy's a player. And for him, that's like a rave to even say something like that about an opposing player. And boy, he proved to be somewhat prescient. He just liked everything about him.
Was it just the way he went about his business?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And he hadn't really developed into the player he is now.
Right. He was on his way.
He was on his way.
3-1. Fouled straight back here. Another foot to the left, and it's right in Meredith's hands. Or could have knocked that earring off.
That.
And the 3-2. Fly ball, deep left, going back Gardner, looking up, see ya. A 2-run home run for Donaldson, and it's 9-0 Jays.
Getting a little closer to that 100 RBI mark. Now has 96 on the season. And his home run number 36. Two RBIs for Donaldson, 1 for Encarnacion, 2 for Bautista, 4 for Tulowitzki.
Here's Encarnacion. Grounded foul.
Hanging breaking ball, touched off. Watch the salute. He knows it's gone. Hey, right up into the camera position.
Terry Wallace continued to man his position.
Yep. Don't give up the camera. I mean, where was he going to go anyway? Look where he is. He's on his own island out there.
Well, there's that story of Carlton Fisk home run against the Reds in Game 6 in the '75 series.
I saw that. Yeah.
Where the camera, which is in the Green Monster, follows him up the first baseline, which he's really not supposed to do, and gets an iconic shot of him waving the ball fair. And the story is that if you ever go inside the Green Monster, there are rats there the size of ponies.
You know, that's why I heard about that. That's why I don't go in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So the cameraman looked down and there was a rat at his foot, and he kept backing up, and the camera was moving on its own following Fisk. And that's how they got that iconic shot. So he did not continue to man the camera. He got out of the way of the rat.
You never know.
That rat got an Emmy, by the way. There's a strike to Bautista. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
One more look.
It's going to go right into it, right into the camera well.
Look out.
Plunks Bautista. I don't think he wanted to do that at 0-2. Why is he warning Ben Heller? Why would he hit Bautista on an 0-2 pitch?
Yeah, and McCann is saying the same thing. This is a rookie.
That's an umpire overreacting to a situation. That there's no way that he would do that.
I mean, Tom Hallion's been around long enough to know that on an 0-2 pitch, you're not drilling anybody. And McCann's trying to speak his piece. And now the warnings are going to go out. The target's inside. Heller's just given up a home run and a double this inning. He's trying to make sure the pitch is in, and it's a little too far in. And he gets Bautista. If he'd been able to throw the ball where he wanted to, he wouldn't have given up the home run or the double to begin with.
Exactly. Bautista has done nothing in this game to warrant getting hit. Last time up, he had the 2-run double. He has not posed. He has not rubbed it in anybody's face. That's not Heller, a kid, going to hit a veteran like Jose Bautista. I look at that, Kenny, and that's an umpire not reading the tea leaves. That's just not accurate.
Sometimes when you have authority, you have the feeling that you have to use it.
If that was Mariano Rivera or Dennis Eckersley who have pinpoint control, okay. You think Heller knows where the ball's going all the time?
Not this inning.
Was he going to throw him out now?
See, now the fans want him thrown out. This game has gotten very ugly for the Yankees in the last 2 innings.
That one's bounced up there.
Now Torreya's going to come in and try and encourage Heller, who, in giving up the double and the home run to the first 2 hitters he's faced, he's getting a little shy of throwing the ball over the plate here. He's trying to be very fine, and in doing so, he's not throwing the ball where he wants to at all.
Two. Missed outside. 3-2. They're not holding Bautista on, and with a 9-0 lead, he's not going anywhere. On deck is Ryan Goins. He'll pinch hit for Tulowitzki. Swing and a miss. Martin down on strikes, 2 away.
See if Russell leaves the strike zone here. Nah, that's it might have been a low strike. Good movement on that fastball.
So Goins will pinch hit for Tulowitzki, who did a lot of damage in this game. A couple of 2-run singles, so 4 ribbies for the shortstop, giving him 77 on the year. The 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Fly ball left side. And it will fall untouched in foul territory.
Bullpen has not spelled much in the way of relief tonight.
This is the 11th full count for Yankee pitching tonight. Runner goes, and Goins swings and misses, and that will do it. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We'll go to the 9th. It's 9-0 Toronto.
Well, Troy Tulowitzki had a couple of opportunities to cash in tonight. He did both times. First inning with the bases loaded, a 2-run single. Comes up again with the bases loaded in the 7th inning. Cashes in once again. Drives in 2 more. Those are our Land Rover drives of the game.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays is Danny Barnes, and Tulowitzki's watching the rest of the game from the bench. Goins is at short. Barney takes over at third, and Danny Barnes on the mound. Tyler Austin pinch hits for Billy Butler. You see Barnes, this will be his 11th game. A strikeout per inning, more than a hit per inning. Tyler Austin's had a long ride on the bench. He has really struggled. A lot of strikeouts. So Mark Teixeira's been playing at first, and today Billy Butler got a start at first, made a costly error in the first inning. Now at 9-0, it doesn't seem that costly, but it did allow 2 unearned runs to score.
Got the Blue Jays out in front really quick. Put the Yankees behind the 8 ball right away.
Two and 2 on Tyler Austin. He's only had 3 at-bats on this road trip. And he has not played in the last 4 games.
Joe Girardi's called on him as a pinch hitter before.
Grounds it to short. Goins is there. 1 away.
He's now 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter.
Here's Didi Gregorius. It's a final. Boston beat Tampa Bay 2-1. Drew Pomeranz with the win. Archer picks up his 19th loss. Astros have now taken a 4-3 lead over the Angels. That's the bottom of the 6th inning in Houston. 1-1.
A couple of issues the Yankees are going to have to deal with, Michael, and we've kind of talked about this before this year. That their play within the division has not been particularly good. If they lose tonight, it'll be 30-37 against the division. The 3 teams ahead of them all have winning records within the division. The Yankees have done well against the Central. They've done well against the West. And one thing that was unusual this year, they struggle against National League in interleague play. They're 8-12.
They used to always get fat on the interleague games, but this time under 500. Grounded to second. Travis. 2 away. That's Smoke at first base.
I mean, the Red Sox started the night with a 5.5 game lead on the division. There's something to think about. Last year, the Red Sox finished in last place. Looks like they're going from worst to first.
And they've gone from first to worst, too.
Yeah. But one thing that they kind of showed last year, they played well in September.
Right.
And they started to show signs of what was going to happen this year.
The 0-1, Rev Snyder pinch hitting for Headley. Count 1-1. Yankees down to their final strike. Sellout crowd, many standing. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. So the Yankees get shut out for the second straight game. Yesterday it was 2-0 against Tampa Bay. And today, or tonight, 9-0 in the first game of a 4-game set against the Blue Jays. We go back to the studio. Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and John Flaherty will set the table for the rest of the night.